Hello, my nerdlings. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. Welcome to my channel where we get nerdy. Today we are doing our February, wrap up. I have my stack of books over here to talk about. I have my laptop open so I can give you some stats because I'm actually kind of proud of them. So for the month of February, I read 15 books. Granted, on my special tracker that my husband has me color in, it's technically only 14 because two of those books, one was a manga, one was a novella, and they only count for half a square. I read over 6,530 pages. It's 6,536 to be precise. My average rating was a 4.1. So not the best compared to January, which was a 4.8 for an average rating. I never actually put all my other info in here. I only just logged the books I read. I didn't put like my books acquired. I didn't really track all the stuff I usually do track. So I did acquire quite a few books though, because we have a book buying problem. And my mental health was shit. The last 2 weeks of February. And to make myself feel better, I bought books. Should I have done it? No, but I did. But anyways, I am not going to go through these in any particular order, not like the order I read them or anything, because I, like, going by my spreadsheet, I could tell you what order, but I don't feel like it. I'm just going to grab. So, first book that I'm going to talk about is Don't Let Me Fall by Kelsey Ray. I saw this on TikTok. It was one of those that the author actually posted like a promotional thing about it, and it said, when your boyfriend walks in on you wearing his best friend's shirt. And I'm like, excuse me? Got kind of intrigued. But anyways, this is following, why can't I remember her name? It's Colt and Ashlyn. Ashlyn is dating Logan. Logan is the epitome of a fucking tool and dick. Like, he is a horrible person. Colt is his best friend. They're both hockey players, except Colt kind of gave up on hockey because of some trauma. Colt gave up on hockey because of some trauma. Ashlyn is a goody-goody kind of thing. Logan doesn't realize how good he has it with Ashley and kind of abuses that relationship. He's a real dick. I hated Logan. This is definitely a slow burn. If you like that kind of thing. This is the first book in a series. I can't remember how many are in the series, but I definitely want to continue. So we have, according to this, it says the Don't Let Me series is a steamy contemporary romance standalone series. So like you can read them independent of each other, but of course like characters overlap. We're talking about the same group of friends, the same hockey player group and everything. The next is Don't Let Me Go, which is Blakely and Theo's story, which that's actually going to be, might need to, because Blakely is Colt's little sister and Theo is the other best friend in this little group. Ooh. It's a brother's best friend. And you know how I feel about brother's best friends. I might have to read that. Get that sooner rather than later. Then we also read Romancing the Grump by Jenny Proctor. This is following Nate Sanders and I can't remember, Summer Callahan. Summer is the social media girl. Nate is just a super duper big grump for the Abby's hockey team. They fake date. And of course, fake dating never actually stays fake dating in any romance book, right? I did not realize that this is book 4 in a series. I read book 4 before I read the rest of the series. So I'm kind of agitated with myself with that. I should have done more research, but it just sounds so good. That's why I bought it, picked it up, read it. Then I was like, shit. When I went to go log it on Goodreads and it said Appy's number 4, I'm like, God damn it. But oh well. I did enjoy this. Both of these only got a 3-star rating because I did enjoy them, right? Don't Let Me Fall kind of annoyed the piss out of me because of how slow burn it was. Even for 300 pages, it felt like it took for fucking ever for them to get together. This one, the story was kind of forgettable. Like, I read other books this month that have lived rent-free in my brain for weeks. So, and then after that, let's talk about Fragile Sanctuary. So this is by Catherine Cowles. This is about a young woman. Rose's parents and little sister died in a house fire. And she is, it's like 13, 14 years later. She's now 27, and she has access to the trust that her parents set up, and she wants to rehab the house that only half of the house burnt. Like, she survived. She survived the fire because her room was on the other side of the house. And now she wants to renovate the house that was her family house that she grew up in. And when her family died, she went and lived with her best friend, and it's a foster family situation. They had a bunch of foster kids in and out through the years, and she has this lovely found family. So her brother, Shep, who she's hired as the contractor to renovate her house, has a best friend named Anson, and Anson is a fire restoration specialist. So like he's done fire restorations before and is really, really good at it. And it is the love story between Anson and Rhodes. So I was reading this. Like, I picked this up after reading Legacy of Gods, and it's like, my brain needs something light and lively and fun, and I don't have to think. This, you could have fucking fooled me with this cover. Okay, I opened this up expecting fluffy, a little bit of smut, brother best friend romance, and I got that plus a fucking Criminal Minds episode in a book. I can't tell you because there's spoilers, but the last sentence on the back. Anson is a man with secrets, and they have a price. When they're revealed, neither of them will make it out unscathed. Excuse me? I have since bought book 2 and book 3 in this series. It's called Sparrow Falls, and book 2 is on my March TBR. I can't, yes. Okay. Probably should turn this a little bit so you can see where I'm stacking them. There. And then we also read this month In Bed with a Highlander by Maya Banks. This is my first historical romance in like the Highlander era of history. So Ewan McCabe is a warrior determined to vanquish his enemy. And Mayrin, she's the illegitimate daughter of the king, and she comes with a hefty dowry. She ends up getting kidnapped by Ewan's enemy, and so doesn't his son. So her and his son escape, go to Ewan's clan, and it's the love story between her and Ewan, because once he realizes who she is, he's like, our clan could really use that dowry because we're suffering. So yeah, Maya Banks, oh, she knows how to write steam. Let me tell you, I love Maya Banks. I read my first book of hers last year. I read her Breathless trilogy. I think that's what it's called. It's like Rush, Fever, Breathe, something like that. Really, really loved it. Now I can't wait to move on with this series. Really can't. I need more of the McCabe boys. We also read Double Pucked by Lauren Blakely. This is I honestly don't call it a why choose. This is a throuple situation, because for me, like, why choose needs to be more than 3, and why choose needs to have some sword crossing, and this doesn't. This is about, I can't even remember her name. Hold on. I'm terrible with names. Trina. Is that exactly, like, so there's Trina and Chase and I think Riker. Trina's boyfriend cheated on her. She caught him, took his VIP tickets to meet his favorite hockey players, and went and met his favorite hockey players. And then after one too many shots, she revealed about how lackluster her sex life has been. And these 2 hockey players said, all right, bet. And it went from there. We also read volume 2 of Sweat and Soap. This is a manga romance about this young woman who works in the accounting department of a pharmaceutical, like a beauty company, and he develops the perfumes and the soaps for the company. Like, he's the smell guy. And it's their relationship. Really loved that volume. I can't wait to read more. I think there's like 7 to 11-ish volumes, and we've read up to volume 2. I own up to volume 7. We're gonna skip this stack. I also read Walking in a Witchy Wonderland by Juliet Cross. This was a novella. Well, not even a novella. I think it was a short story collection. It is how you would count it. It was 228 pages, so it wasn't very long, but it was a bunch of short stories about the Savoy sisters from the Stay a Spell series. In reading order, it's the ones I had read, Walking in a Witchy Wonderland, and then you move on to book 4. So I read Walking in a Witchy Wonderland, loved the little stories and like the catch-ups with characters that, even though we see them in books later on, like being back with like Devraj and why can't I remember that sister's name? And then being back with Mateo and Nico and all of them. And I just loved it. Then we read Always Practice Safe Hex. This is following Lily Savoy and Gareth Blackwater. Lily Savoy is she's a witch with the magical gift of persuasion, perfect for working in PR because she has this natural charisma and charm. However, she is put in this PR competition with this guy named Gareth Blackwater. Gareth is a Grim Reaper, and it's very much a rivals to lovers relationship that blooms here. But Gareth is my book boyfriend from this series, hands down. Like, yes, I love Devraj and Nico and Mateo, but Gareth is just chef's kiss. They are forced to collaborate in this PR competition. Sparks start flying. Livy learns that the enigmatic Grim is more powerful than any supernatural she's met, and when Livy becomes the obsessive target of a dangerous warlock, the full force of Gareth's ability becomes shockingly apparent because no one is going to hurt his Livy. Yes. I love it. Love, 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 love it. We also read The Striker by Anna Huang. This is Asher Donovan and Scarlett Dubois' book. We meet Asher in, the Kings of Sin series. Stay. Asher is a professional soccer player. He did play for one team, Horchester. He played for Horchester and got traded to Blackcastle, I think is technically the other team's name. And of course, on Blackcastle is his rival, his super big rival. His name's Vincent Dubois. They end up losing the World Cup because Vincent does not want to share the ball when Asher has a clear shot to score and win them the game. So they are sent to work with Scarlett Dubois for ballet training because the flexibility helps, athletes. But Vincent ends up having to leave training for a medical reason. So it's the romance that blooms between Asher Dubois and his rival's little sister. I mean, this book is thick. I did enjoy this book. What did I rate it? I rated it a 4.5. It did not need to be this long. I'm sorry. There's no need for a contemporary romance to be almost 600 pages. I think the story honestly would have been more impactful if we cut out some of it. Felt like anime filler. So that's just my opinion. And then I also read the entire Legacy of Gods series. All there's 6, but only 5 of them are out in this edition. So we have in this one God of Malice, we have Killian and Glyndon. God of Pain, we have Creighton and Annika. God of Wrath, we have Jeremy and Cecily, right? God of Ruin, we have Landon and Mia. God of Fury, we have Brandon and Nico, or Nikolai. And then God of War, we have Eli and Anna. I did an entire series review video about the Legacy of Gods. I didn't realize when I started the Legacy of Gods that Rena Kent actually has like 30 some books, and these are the end of it. Like, these are the children of her first good chunk of series. So I'm kind of like, shit. Now I have to go back and read. Like, yeah, there's kind of spoilers. Like, I know whose parents are whose, but I don't know the parent story. And so I'm excited for that. Hands down, Nikolai and Brandon are my favorite couple, but my book boyfriend out of this is definitely Jeremy. I love Jeremy. So those are the books I read this month. I know I challenged myself to read a book a day for the month of February, and I was on track. I was actually ahead at one point, and then I got to the end of this series and I slumped hard because like I wanted more of Rena Kent, but I'm like, no, I need to read some of the TBR that I picked from this because like, the only one that was on my TBR technically was God of Malice, and then I decided to go rogue and read the other 5. I was like, no, I need to read some that were on my TBR game. Well, it wasn't really a game, my TBR challenge. So that's when we read the other ones. I read none of the Kindle books I was supposed to read this month. A couple of these, I think, were part of my 25 and 2025. So we're successful there. So yeah, this was my February wrap up. Like the video if you did. Comment down below, what are the best books you read in February? Or what are the worst books you read in February? Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And until next time, you are loved and you are valid.